the man who fell from space and survived. In 1960, U.S. Air Force Captain Joseph Kittinger did something that had never been attempted before. He jumped from the edge of space, falling 31 kilometers 19 miles back to Earth in what became one of the most daring experiments in human history. At the time, scientists knew very little about how the human body would react to extreme altitudes and speeds. Space travel was still in its infancy, and there were fears that astronauts might lose consciousness or even die if they had to eject from a spacecraft at high altitude. To test the limits of human survival, Kittinger volunteered for Project Excelsior, a series of high-altitude jumps from the stratosphere. On August 16, 1960, Kittinger ascended in a small open-air gondola attached to a helium balloon, rising above 99% of Earth's atmosphere. As he reached his peak altitude 31,300 meters 100 to 1,800 feet, he could see the curvature of the Earth, with space stretching into blackness above him. At that moment, he was higher than any human had ever been without a spacecraft. Then, he jumped. As soon as he stepped off the platform, he plummeted at an incredible speed, reaching 1,000 kilometers per hour 620 miles per hour in free fall. However, due to the thin atmosphere at that altitude, he didn't feel like he was falling. Instead, it felt as if he were simply floating. His body was in near vacuum conditions, and the only sound was his own breathing inside his suit. For 4 minutes and 36 seconds, he free fell towards Earth before his parachute automatically deployed at 5,500 meters 18,000 feet. When he finally touched the ground, he had set world records for the highest parachute jump, longest free fall, and fastest speed by a human without an aircraft, records that stood for over 50 years. His experiment paved the way for space travel and astronaut safety, proving that humans could survive high-altitude ejections. Decades later, his work directly contributed to the design of astronaut escape systems for space missions. And what's even crazier, at one point during his jump, one of his gloves malfunctioned, causing his hand to swell to twice its size, but he still completed the mission. Joseph Kittinger was a true pioneer, and his legendary leap remains one of the most daring human achievements of all time.